Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So if you guys had a great Halloween, I hope you did. I know I did. I took my little girl out. We went Halloween, and she was a little scared because it was her first Halloween and she was not used to a bunch of kids walking around and the noises, everything like that. But it was fun nonetheless. I was able to give her some treats, so it was pretty cool. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy your Halloween. Happy Dead Day, I think it is. I don't really remember. Anyway, without further ado, today is November 1st, 2024 at 12:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For that is currently today. This is when this video is being recorded. And there's a lot of questions that I want to have answered in this video. If you have a specific question you want answered, but you don't want to watch the full video because you might not have time, go to the description below. Everything will be timestamped in the description for you. And you can jump to that portion of the video. I highly recommend you stay and watch the entire video, but that's per your preference. All right, so this video is just for purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. So in the past, you guys have finally been able to get an actual answer on who's going to win the 2024 presidential election. It turned out to be Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States. However, for us to get to that point, it took forever for us to be able to figure out who was going to win the 2024 presidential election. It didn't help the fact that Mercury Retrograde, a double Mercury Retrograde, is currently ongoing in the United States. Then we have full moon, then we had an eclipse. You know, it made the 2020 election reading look like a cakewalk compared to this election. We truly do not know who's going to win, currently. But all eyes, according to the cards, and the energy and the sensation, the feeling is moving in Kamala Harris's direction. I feel like very strong in this election, the Democrats are being underrepresented in the polls. Not Donald Trump, it's Kamala Harris who's being underrepresented. Now you see about it, you know, after presidential elections, you have a lot of Trump supporters and Republicans openly, you know, supporting Donald Trump. But they have also hidden how they were going to vote in life. The polls are giving a false narrative that Biden and Hillary Clinton were far ahead. However, in this election, that changed. More Republicans are more openly supportive of Donald Trump. They say, hey, listen, I'm a Trump supporter, I'm not ashamed of that. And that is what the energy is going on. However, a lot of people feel the very high polarizing effect, especially with the fact that abortion is now on the ballot. And because of that, women may not feel comfortable enough to be able to voice how they're actually voting in the polls. And therefore, Kamala Harris might be underrepresented in the polls. And that's what's going to be really interesting to see how this election turned out, with abortion on the ballot, democracy on the ballot, Project 2025 on the ballot. It's really interesting to see how the dynamic play out compared to the Trump side, with economy, immigration, and tax cuts and inflation. So those are things that's on Trump's side, but these issues are on the Democrat side. The question is, what battles and what wins, you know? The last time we actually had a criminal run for president of the United States, well, he was in office at this time. It was in 1876, he was up against a Democrat, and the Democrat was an actual lawyer prosecutor. They actually ended up winning, except there was something that's going on in the South that the Electoral College back then was not a winner-take-all system. And so one of the votes was being decided between one or the other. So they made a deal. So the Republicans maintain control in the White House for another 4 years, in exchange that the Democrats have, in exchange that the Republicans withdraw the troops from the South. And this ended the age of Reconstruction. Now, what does that mean? It means essentially in this election, no matter who wins, the age of Reconstruction for the United States, whether that means it's going toward a different direction or going more toward ever more democracy, it's going to be solely on the basis of Reconstruction and constructing the United States. Okay, so I'm really hoping that this video is being actually recorded and not just like being messed with, because the Wi-Fi icon is still there and showing that there's an unstable Wi-Fi connection. So I'm hoping audio and the quality of the video is to par. But nonetheless, we are going to go ahead with this tarot card reading. And let's start off with our very first question. What is the state of the country from November 6th to January 2025? This would be really interesting to kind of understand the dynamic further on how and where country is heading in this presidential election and in the future. So Spirit Angels tell me, what is the state of the United States from November 6th to January 2025 after the 2024 presidential polls close? So right now it feels like to me, because this is very important. You see this person, right? This woman sitting down on the throne. This is the United States, but I'm seeing more so liberty. I'm seeing the Statue of Liberty. This card is reversed for a reason. What it is saying is saying that liberty is in jeopardy. Yeah, I didn't realize that rhyme. But this is what it's saying. It's saying liberty is in jeopardy. And what's really interesting about this card is indicating to me there is no winner. That's what it's saying. It's saying there is no winner. And it's saying that there's no one at this point in time with the clear projection that they are going to win outright. They're not going to have got to 270. Now, I was telling my friend, and I was like, okay, so we're all betting that, not the midterm, the United States election is going to be very close. It's going to be probably a tie. I told them that it's going to be 87.64% possibility that the United States election end up in a 269 tie. That's a very high probability. But to negate the fact, I said, okay, so in the card saying that something that never happened before. We had a tie before, or no candidate reached the threshold needed to become the winner of the presidential election. That has happened before. It happened more so in 1800. But what is interesting though is, well, what if there's a scenario where, okay, maybe there's not a tie in the electoral college, but no candidate can reach the threshold of 270 because there's a tie within the vote tally in a state. So, for example, let's say Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, they get 1,786,000, and they have every vote to the 9, like the same amount of people voting for and against each other, and it ties. There's no constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution that states how to go about that. And so the country gets thrown into a constitutional crisis where something like that, oh, what do we do? Because we obviously can't do a recount because everybody knows how the country voted. Do we do a revote? Do we do a recount? Like, what's the process? And that's what makes it very difficult, because it almost feels like to me that no candidate can reach 70 because there's a high probability, hey, listen, they might not tie in the electoral college, but one state might have a tie within the state itself. How do you deal with that, right? That's why every vote matters. And that's what's interesting, because that's what I'm seeing. So in this card, again, it's saying that no victor can be declared at this time. See if we can get more information. Can we get some more information, Spirits and Angels? Maybe give me a past, present, future. The past being the election. Bottom card is the election. All right, so this is election. We have Pentacle, 6 of Pentacles. Now, this is interesting because you see here a guy giving a candidate the votes or the requirement in order to win. This is reversed. Now, there's a high probability, and I'm getting it in this card, the candidate might reach 270 threshold needed, but the electors who are elected or even put in the whole elector scheme and stuff like that, they could actually take it and vote for somebody else. And there's nothing in the law that says they can't do that. They can defy the will of the people. So theoretically, the people can vote for one candidate, and the elected can vote for someone else and just wholly disregard people voting in that state. And that's what very well could happen. So we have the 6 of Pentacles. No winner, right? You see here this person getting electoral votes, right? This is reversed. We don't know. This is the election. This is the election card, right? We have underneath the Empress card, which is being shined by the moon. Now remember, there's a double Mercury retrograde. The double Mercury retrograde, the last time that happened was in 2000. And that was a big crisis within itself. For a long time, the United States didn't know who was going to be the president of the United States. And the Supreme Court intervened and stopped the electoral vote count in the state of Florida, handing the presidency to George Bush. We have the moon card. You see people and birds flying around from building to building. You have this man coming in, and he has a little bit of a knife, actually. If you see his hand here, where you have two wolves, you have a dog and a wolf, and you have a crab in the center. The crab is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and third party. On the side here, wolf, you see the Democrat, and you see the dog on the left, which is the Republican. And what is interesting here is that this person is coming in the center and it's being surrounded by a blocky water. And here's the moon. What this is telling me here is that almost like one of them needs to shut up. And that's what the guy's coming, right? He's coming with this knife, essentially, and he's going to get rid of the other. And it almost feels like this person, whoever is represented here in the night, they are going to essentially decide who's going to be president. Now we have the final card here, which is the reverse Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles card is no one is handed the victory. And I feel like this alone in itself is going to cause a problem because nobody's going to know who is going to be president. But because of the Ace of Pentacles, you can't be determinative who actually won the election. And, you know, with President Biden's new ability as president with the immunity ruling for official acts under Donald Trump's Supreme Court ruling, Joe Biden might have a big role to play in this election as well. We have the Page of Pentacles. This is telling me that there is a tie. Or there was no tie, but there is a tie now. And that's what's interesting. And here you see the eagle. And the eagle is the United States election overseeing the country. And because of all this going on here, it's telling me that something is going on that we don't see yet, but here are the voters, right? The voter. And here is the politician playing with the will of the people. And here is the United States. And that's what's really interesting in this election. So what is the takeaway with this question here? What is the state of the country from November 6th to January 2025? There is a possibility that we may have an actual winner in the electoral college projection, but come to the electoral certification, well, it could be thrown out the window. There's also indicated here as well that there's a high probability that there's a 269 tie, and it throws the the election into the United States House, which won't be enacted until January 3rd of 2025. I don't think it's, January 3rd, I think they get inaugurated. But the other option, too, is also saying that there's a possibility of a tie in a specific state where no candidate who's 270, because the tie is in the vote tally inside the state population and the voting pattern in a specific state. And I've seen Nevada for some reason. Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania have the highest probability of tying than any other swing state in the country. So for the next question we are going to ask is, when we know who officially won the presidential election of 2024? So let's ask. So Spirit Angel tell me, give me the card that represents Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States in the 2024 presidential election. What card best represents Kamala Harris? What card best represents Kamala Harris? Thank you. What card best represents Donald Trump? Okay. All right, interesting. So what's really interesting about these cards here, because we have this card representing Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, at the Page of Wands. She's looking at this wand and she's like, "Woo! Look at this wand, bad boy, I want it." Like, that's the energy that I'm feeling. Like, she wants this. And she's like, "Ooh, this is the shiny thing that I want. This is the shiny thing that I desire." This is what Kamala Harris' energy is indicating to me. What the energy, though, for Donald Trump is saying, well, I had it. I don't really want it, but I need it. And that's what the Magician card is saying. The fact is that they're both holding wands here is very indicative of what is going to be expected. Now, if I were to say based on like the cards and who's going to be the official president of the state based on the tarot cards for each candidate. Kamala hasn't come out, but she is holding the wand. She has it. She's, ooh, look at the shiny thing. It's so pretty. Like that. That's the energy that I'm getting for Kamala Harris. When it comes to Donald Trump, it's kind of like, I don't really care. I just need this. That's the energy. Like, he doesn't want it. He just needs it, if that makes any sense. And so energy is on Kamala Harris' side on who is going to be declared official winner. Now, please keep in mind this video is just for entertainment and for educational purpose only as well. So let's ask more cards for more clarification. So spirits and angels, based on this, so we know who they are. We have the Magician and we have the Page of Wands. Put them back in the deck here. When will we know who officially won the 2024 presidential election? When will we know? Okay. Okay. Okay, this is a challenge here. Something is challenging us. And then we have the bottom of the deck. No, that's not good. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is normally like something that's moving, like a stall. You have a proposition. You're moving slowly but gracefully. This is reverse. What this is telling me already is that there is no victor. And the Knight of Cups is saying, oh, we have the winner. Because the cup is normally like where you have the winner, you deliver it to wherever you got to deliver it to. You say, okay, so this is the person who wins. The message, delivering a message. This is reverse. There is no message to deliver. The Knight of Cups, reverse, it's indicating, telling me here that this is going to be a very slow, gruesome process throughout this whole entire election. It's going to be more like an election month or election, I don't even know, election year, really, that's what it feels like. We have the Page of Cups reverse. Now, this card is in the present at the moment, or at least going into the moment, right? Who is going to officially win the presidential election? It's saying here, we had the cup, but the cup took so long to deliver that something needs to come in place. Now we have the fish in here. The fish is out. We know who would have won, but something was stopped. And so it feels like to me that there's a probability where like whatever's going on in the constant recounting, we're still getting to that tie or whatever, but no candidate could reach the threshold needed. It feels like the country's at a stalemate. And especially that not only, we have a probability of reaching the 269 tie. There's also might be a probability of a tie in the House of Representatives. That could cause a big issue in itself. Because the House of Representatives, is going to determine who's going to be the next president of the United States in case of a tie. So now we have the future card, right? We have here the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is loss. Big loss. This feels like to me Donald Trump. And the reason why it is because Donald Trump lost the popular vote twice. But he might consider 2 more runs in the future. But he lost the election, it feels like. And it's being challenged by opposition hurdles, the Ten of Wands here. And that is what is being projected. It feels like there's some sort of loss here. I don't know why the country feels this too, because we have this in the card here. And, it could be that maybe this is how his supporters are feeling, and that they feel like there's a loss coming. Or they feel like the country's rigged because it's taken so long to count and not doing something against Donald Trump to prevent him from taking power. And that's what the energy, the ambiance, and the feeling, the sensation is feeling like. Now, let's see if we can get a winner. We might not be able to because of double Mercury. But I feel like we might be able to because it's the date and debt, and that's when the veil is the closest to being open, which means we could have access to information. Okay, so we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of reverse of mental clarity. It's telling me here that there's some sort of clarity that's being shined on the situation. We have the 10 of swords. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of swords here, backstabs. It almost feels like the cold might be wrong. I don't know. It feels like the Knight of Pentacles here saying that something speeds up. Something happened. After this betrayal, something just jumped in motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to act a tarot card deck, a different one, but for a different answer. Maybe we might be able to get more clarity on what's going on here. It's just a mumbo jumbo of mac and cheese. This specific tarot deck, it's called the tarot deck of Eclipse. I'll show you right now, America Eclipse. What I think will be really because the astrological energy surrounding this presidential election, specifically with Mercury Retrograde. When will we know who officially won the 2024 presidential election? We have the Knight of Swords. We have protests. We have 7. Then we have here Queen of Coins. It's going to be Kamala Harris. It's all about women here. Yeah, it's Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. It doesn't tell me when. It just tells me eventually she will be, if that makes sense. But here we have a lot of women. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have the Knight of Swords. The person who wins this election is the person who swears the oath to protect and defend the United States. That is who wins the presidency. Right? I also feel that in a way the military could possibly be intervened in this aspect. There might be some severe uprising, uproar. It almost feels like that's the sensation here. But we have the 4 of Wands here, and the 4 of Wands is called labor rights. Right? Look at some of the things they're saying: fair pay, labor rights now, workers unite. And then look who's here. What are they holding? They're holding something to hit those people, right? Punishment. And it feels like there's going to be some wide protest across the country, especially going to the election night, into election day, into election week, and possibly election month. But we have here underneath the Knight of Swords, I'll show you here, right? We have a woman making an address. And then when you look at this woman specifically, it looks like Kamala Harris, right? She's giving a speech to the nation, right? But then I can't help but notice individual. It looks like Donald Trump. And so really my advice to Kamala Harris is, well, maybe don't give a speech in the public. Maybe make it virtual, because it feels like in a way, no matter who wins, somebody's life is in jeopardy. And especially with the nature of everything that's going on in this country, that is a high probability. In a past election reading that I did, I kept seeing a man in office, but it wasn't specifically Donald Trump. It's very possible that something happened to Kamala Harris to will take over. So it's very possible that is an outcome that could happen, especially if you don't wash yourself and make sure that you are safe and protected. We do have in the final outcome card here, the Queen of Coins. Again, this is the famous, Nancy Pelosi, but in this aspect, this is kind of giving the energy of Kamala Harris, another woman here, right? Women. Because look, we are women, right? We have here protests. And then we have here the end of the deck here. What do we have? Women. Virgo, right? What does she wear? Women's rights. Right? What does she say here? What does she say? Nevertheless, wait, hold on, I can't read it. It says here, nevertheless, she persisted. That's what it said. So it's basically saying to me that she needs to keep persistent. Don't give up, don't give in, don't concede the election, is what it's saying. Keep working at it. Eventually, you will get there. Women, this is the election of the women here. Women will play a big role in this election. So how will we know who wins the presidency? Well, let's get apparently it's not giving me the answer. Okay, give me one card for give me one card for week, day, week, month. Let's do that. Week. So when will you know who the 2024 presidential election winner will be in now? Be in a day? Will it be in a week, or will it be in a month or more? it feels like a month. Because we have the four story, a lot of contesting, a lot of jeopardizing the vote, making sure that there's constant recount. It's going to take a while. Like, yeah, we might have a lead for whom won't be president, but we don't have an outright declared winner because of all the constant recount and revoting and issues going on. So now we have this card here. I think this card might be reversed, but I don't remember. So this video is both. We have the Seven of Wands here. And the Seven of Wands, again, protest. Women, look, women are being locked up and they're protesting. Well, so we have the protest card here. So what is going on with this election? It feels like men are punishing women on how they vote. And that's interesting. It almost feels like it's oh, no campaign because my wife she voted for this guy or this woman, but that's not really how she voted. And that's the interesting thing is this correlation, a gender-wide gap. So how do we know who officially won the presidential election in 2024? I feel like people are scared to even watch the election because they can't get excited for the candidate they secretly voted against. Because in essence, they could actually expose who they voted for by smiling or smirking. So a lot of people are going to be off-put about this election in general because they don't want to expose that aspect of them. And we do have here, we have the Ace of Coins. We have almost like it feels like a lot of people are who voted secretly, well, not lying, happy for this individual, blah, blah, blah. The Ace of Coins is telling me here that it feels like, in a way, once everything is released, people will be announcing how they actually voted and that they're glad to have voted the Pacific and that they alone handed the election one way or the other. But nonetheless, women are the voters here. However, what is indicating here that possibly there's a scenario where women votes are being thrown out, or there's something going on with women here that's being protested. It's very possible that because women are protesting here in this entire reading, it could say that Donald Trump could be leading in election night into election week, into election month, and women are protesting and they're getting arrested for it. So there's a high probability in two outcome scenario what we can see. I don't really know. I just feel like more like election month at this point. But it feels like we're going to get a winner, but then whoever wins, like I've been saying this on other readings as well, is that whoever wins, it's not going to be the official winner because it's going to completely change. So we won't really know. So don't get too hyped up. Don't give yourself too much hope. You can go and wash it, whatever, but just don't put all your eggs in one basket is all I'm asking. Okay, so we're going to ask this specific question. This question might be the key indicator on more information that maybe we might not be seeing right now in the card, could ask in the moment. But what if we ask, well, how will history remember the 2024 presidential election? Perhaps that might give us the winner. And now I've been saying this to Kamala Harris, but there's something going on that's a little shady that might be changing. So let's take a look and see if we can get a definitive answer. Okay. So, Spirits Angels, tell me, how will history remember the 2024 presidential election? How will history remember the 2024 presidential election? Okay, we're going to split it back here. Okay. How will history remember the 2024 presidential election? 10 years after, in 2034, how will history remember the 2024 presidential election? How will history remember the 2024 presidential election in 2034? Wow, this feels like so long ago, but can you tell me to flip it back? Okay. How will history remember the 2024 presidential election? Okay. I think we got some cards here, so we are going to use them. So the first card that we have here, we have young voters. Right? You have the millennial, Gen Z, those people. We have here incumbent loses re-election. Now this is the incumbent party, right? This is the Democrats here, but it's reversed. It means the House is up for grabs. Okay? So that's how the tarot cards work. When it's reversed, we flip it. We have here trouble ahead. It's reversed. October surprise. We have here swing state decide. It's reversed. Republican flip. We have here electoral margin. Right? It's the reverse. Witch trial. We have here Reagan wins in 1984, landslide. Low turnout. Okay? What else does this mean, Spirit Angels? Tell me. How would history remember the 2024 presidential election? How would history remember the 2024 presidential election in 2032? Okay, we have media giants. Republican enthusiasm, very low. We have blue-collar voter, reverse. Election of 2000, swing state, the size. All right, last couple of cards, and then we'll be able to read. How would history remember the 2024 presidential election? Okay. So we have here, we have health industry. We have here Congress, the size. It's reversed. Foreign policy. And we have here Democrats flip, reverse. Republican win. It almost feels like, how would history remember the 2024 presidential election? We have here young voters coming out and vote, right? They have families, they want to start families, they want to be able to have a life of their own, they want to be able to own their homes and stuff like that. They feel like life has gotten impossible for them. We have here the House up for grabs. This means the House of Representatives. I said that earlier in the video. I felt like the House of Representatives almost come very close, and there's a possibility of a tie in the House. But this also means in the White House. So the House is up for grabs. It can go to either side. There was an October surprise, if you were paying attention. The Republicans flip a House in, a congressional House. It could be the Senate. So this would make sense. We do have here witch trials. Salem accusation, witch trial, biased court trial, execution or death penalty, black or white magic. We have here underneath the House is up for grab. Reagan wins in 1984, landslide. Now this feels to me that there isn't going to be a landslide like the perspective that we got with Ronald Reagan. But the landslide could be just sweeping all the swing states, and that in itself with 300 or more plus electoral votes considered a modern landslide by definition. So that could be what that indicated. Could that come to the table and win every swing state? Could be Kamala Harris win every swing state. We do have here underneath the October surprise, low turnout. We have here though, we have Republicans flip the Senate. But what it is telling me too, although it's saying the Republicans flip the Senate, it's saying that there's very low enthusiasm for Republicans. What is that saying? It's very possible the Senate could stay Democrat, right? Could stay Democrat here. And we do have here, young voters are being accused of, what do you call it? Of voting in a specific way. And they're going to be punished in this capacity, even though they shouldn't be. We do have here as well false accusations about young people, riling up a base. Oh, young people did this. This is the reason why I lost young people. That's what it almost feels like the energy is coming for. The House is up for grabs. It is saying that it could be as close as 269, 269, could be as big a landslide for the White House and also for the House. The October surprise, like I said, is low turnout. It is not going to be as high as 2020. We do have here Republican flip, again, low Republican turnout, low Republican enthusiasm is going to hamper a lot of Republicans down ballot. It is being followed, though, by the election of Dallas, a swing state. It comes down to one state, most likely, and they will decide who will become president. The election of 2000 is very canny, because we kept saying 2000, the energy likes 2000, the energy is similar to Mercury retrograde, double Mercury retrograde since 2000. We talked about the healthcare industry. This is abortion, your right and access to medical care. We have here foreign policy, right, being made on behalf of Republicans saying, hey, listen, if I win, this is what's going to take effect. So this is not saying Republicans are going to win, but they're saying here that if they win, there were the deals already made behind the scene that led them to victory, and this is what they will enact once in office or in power. So that is what the cards are saying. So how will history remember the 2024 election? Just as I said. It didn't say it, but it does give us key indicators on what to expect. All right, so now we're going to ask the next question. Is there a 269, 269 tie? Yes or no? Pretty straightforward, right? Is there a 269, 269 tie in the Electoral College? Yes or no? We have the Sun card. So we have the page of story that is representing the question. It's reversed. It's telling me that there's more energy, there's more hope here, but it's not what we expect is what it's saying here. We do have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of wands here. It's telling me this is in the past. We have the page of cups reversed. And this is telling me under here is that it feels like it'll recount. But the reason why I say that it'll recount is the Knight of Cups. And it's saying that one way it goes Kamala, it goes Trump, it goes Kamala, it goes Trump, it goes Kamala in the recount. It's like almost like it can't figure out who was the actual winner here. And then we have here eventually, is the 269, 269 tie? Is the winner? Yeah, it is going to be a winner not declared. It's the Sun card. Normally, this card indicates Donald Trump going to victory. But we're going to get a little bit more definitive answers. So let's take a look. Actually, let's use this tarot deck because this is my tarot deck. I'm going to fix some of the cards because some cards are facing upright, some cards are not. So give me a moment. Okay, so I cleared the deck and I made sure everything faces all in one direction so we can get more of an accurate reading. Is there a 269, 269 tie in the 2024 presidential election? So as you guys all remember from like 2020, I made the tarot deck, by the way. We have the clown. The clown card normally indicates That's why the card was here because he's funny. But we have the clown guy. He is representing Donald Trump. The card that we're asking here is there a 269, 269 tie? It said no. There is not going to be a 269, 269 tie. And then it tells me another no. So definitive. It's a no, no, no. A clown is also a no because if a clown asks you to kiss you, what are you going to say? No. So is the 269, 269 tie? The cards here, my tarot cards are saying no. So that's interesting to say the least. If it's a no, what is it then? Spirit Angel tell me if there's not a 269, 269 tie for the 2024 presidential election, what is it then? Okay, Interesting. So we have here the president or world's leader, right? It's the White House. It's reversed. We have here the word landslide next to it. We have on the ballot, people voting, Democrat, Republican, third party. And then the next card is Supreme Court Justice. So the court's going to intervene in this election regardless if you like it or not. And they're going to stop something. Potentially, they're going to stop the count or the people's voice. Just like in 2000, repeat 2000. And who is the what? This is my card for Japan, for Asia. Whoever is, it's the card for Japan. Specifically Asian. So a win for Asia. I don't know if that's a win for China or it's a win for Taiwan. Let's see. Who's the winner? Is it Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, or is it some JD Vance? Okay, another landscape. Like, I mean, what is going on with these environments? What is this? A woman, okay, being crossed by another woman male ticket and Trump. What's it? The orange card. Okay, so it feels like to me that the orange card is representing Donald Trump, right, in the election. This card is representing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. That is being challenged by women. That is the card. So the environment that is saying is, here, depending on how many women come out and vote, it will determine whether or not it's a landslide. And it might be, the women might be a landslide, might not be necessarily talking about, a 2024 presidential landslide. It might not be that. It might be the landslide on who dominates in the women vote. And it is such a huge question that even polls are missing this. Are women voting 30% for Kamala Harris? Something that is being underrepresented in the polls. That is the question here, is who is going to win the women vote and by how much? And that will determine whether or not they are the winner. So that's why we're getting all these women in this reading, because the women will truly determine whether or not Donald Trump gets another term in the White House, or whether or not they put a woman in the White House. The question is, what is it? And it really comes down to the women vote. I truly feel like in the cards, it is saying to me that women haven't come out in full droves yet. Early voting, we have women, I'm sure, coming out in more numbers than they have done in previous election. But the reason why we can't determine who's going to be the winner is because women have not came out and voted quite yet in numbers that it could be expected. So the same expect the unexpected. And the unexpected is women. Will they come out and vote? And it's like they are. So is there a probability that they're tying vote counting in a state? That's a question that's really interesting. So I talked about this in the video. So let's see. Is there a probability that there is a tie in the vote tally in a specific state? Instead of 269 tie, is there a possibility that both candidates have the same number of people voting for them, leading to a tie and no breaker? Because no matter what the recount is, well, who wins the state because both candidates have an equal tie. Okay, so it feels like to me it's saying that no, but also yes. So it's telling me maybe, right? This card is reversed. The middle card here has luck, but a high probability that something like this could happen. And if it was, it would happen in the time of December. So it's telling me almost feels like it's going to be happening in the western region where snow. So I'm seeing like Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, those areas. Any area that has snow is telling me those are the states you want to look at. States with big mountain ranges. It could also be the Appalachian Mountains, right? And the card that clarifies the winter card is male. And the card that just fell off the top here is family lineage, linkage, past trend, how people vote. So is there a probability of tie the vote tally in the state? Very likely, actually. It's not going to be like unheard of, but they're saying there's a probability that could happen if something happened in states with high mountain ranges. And we have here the devil, right? That will be the worst nightmare that's possible. So the next question that we are going to ask now is, well, hold on, this card. Okay. What is going on December 17th during the electoral certification process? They're going to meet, the electors are going to meet, and they're going to certify the election. Now, in the previous readings that we did in this video, we talked about how we kept seeing that people who were elected were going to go and vote, but they may vote against the interest of the people in the state that voted for a specific candidate, throwing the election one way or the other. There's a high probability of occurring. Now we're going to act the card and see what the cards have to say, not what I have to say. So we're going to tell me, what is going on December 17th during the electoral certification process? Okay, so this is interesting. So in this spread here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. An election is going to be called. So I feel like I said, I always said on all my videos, whoever wins this election on election night or election day, whenever they call it, it's going to be redacted, right? Ace of Pentacles. It means very similar to 2000. You call it, you don't call it, it's redacted. The Ace of Pentacles is saying that, oh, we're going to make a call. The Associated Press are going to make a call. Then they backtracked it with the Knight of Wands, going back to, wait, hold on. This person actually won. And it goes back and forth, back and forth. And then we have the Devil card here. And the Devil card is the Mercury Retrograde. We have the election being held here, and the two double Mercury Retrograde holding the people hostage. Puppeteering, right? And we have here the final card here, the Star card. This is the card that's reversed. This card really is the card that represents presidency, who is going to become president. So the electoral process is telling me here that the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, and the last card here is the King of Cups. It feels like to me it's maybe a little bit smoother than expected. People are expecting more, rough water. They're going to be rough water. People are going to be denying the certification and how people vote in this. However, nonetheless, the winner will prevail in the end. So it is telling me here that, the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, even though all this information is saying back and forth, this is not necessarily saying that these are how people are voting for the electoral certification, but what it is telling me that they're considering the options on what to do and how to handle the electoral certification of the United States. That is what is being questioned. It is not being questioned who won. It's being questioned whether or not they should vote for whoever the state voted for or against the state voted for. That is the question that's being asked. And that is what it keeps going back and forth, back and forth. But in the end, they ended up all voting the way the states vote. So it should be okay in that regard. And the winner is a woman. We have the Empress card. And like I said, it's going to be Kamala Harris. Women are the vote here. It's going to be women. Kamala Harris is the woman. She is going to win. Will the United States Supreme Court step in like in 2000? Let's take a look. Spirit Angels tell me, will the United States Supreme Court step in just like in 2000? So we have the Star card reverse. And the Star card reverse is telling me something very interesting. The presidency in the past, right? This is the election, right? In the present here, we have, well, we don't have the winner. We have the winner. We know the winner is. But then that's in jeopardy now. The King of Swords reverse, incumbent, out of power. We have here as being Six of Cups reverse. What is it indicating to me? Going back to the past, but it's staying here because nobody's to cut it represents going back to the past. It's going forward. Something pushes everything forward. Something that never happened that's been done by the court. If there was to be something that in the court, it would be something that never been done before. So it's not going to be like 2000, something changing. And had the army on similar to 2000, but what the court does is drastically different than what they did in 2000. We have Emperor's card. This is the card up against Donald Trump being out of power in 2020. This card is being shown here. We have here the victory card. You know, there's a high probability that there's a victory going on here, that, you know, the Supreme Court could strip the victory away from one candidate and hand it to the other, but that doesn't seem to be likely. However, there's going to be a death to the court. Something goes on in the court and it leads to a death. It might not be a physical death. It could be a reformation of it, or a rebirth, or a transformation of the Supreme Court and how it works. Be that. And in the end, the Emperor's card. So will the United States Supreme Court step in? So that 50-50 chance is staying, but it said that if they do, it's going to be something they never did before, but it's going to be the ambiance of 2000. If that makes any sense. All right, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the description below who you think is going to be the next president of the United States is, and I will see you soon. Love you.